What's good, YouTube? Wanted to make a little video here real quick. Couple of things that I'm completely disgusted with that happened over the past 24 hours. As a lot of you, I'm sure, know by now, rapper XXXTentacion was gunned down in South Florida, Deerfield Beach, Florida area, just north of Miami. And less than an hour later, right? XXXTentacion was gunned down shortly after 4 p.m. Well, just about an hour later, less than an hour later, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania rapper Jimmy Wopo was killed also in a drive-by shooting. As somebody who grew up on hip-hop, real hip-hop, Public Enemy, Run DMC, back when hip-hop was such a powerful movement, right? A call for social change. Songs like Fight the Power by Public Enemy, right? Songs with a strong message. Again, back when hip-hop was real hip-hop. And, you know, I know the younger audience, which I have, a younger audience that watches my, my videos, follows this YouTube channel, follows my blog, the Davy V blog. I understand that, you know, we all get to a point in our lives that we start sounding like old fogey, right? We start sounding like, well, in my day, my music was better. It's not about putting any of the young artists down. But as a father of 2 teenagers, I try to stay up a little bit on the music nowadays. And even though I'm glad to see some of the original pioneers, some of my favorite artists, like Rakim, right? A true lyricist, a legend, one of the best MCs to ever pick up a mic. I also try to keep up with what's going on nowadays, what my teenagers are listening to, right? And, you know, I understand this young man, XXXTentacion, was very talented. I know he had a huge following. I know his music spoke to millions, right? Also, I understand Jimmy Wopo was a very talented artist who also had a, strong following. I believe there was a record deal in the works. But what's happening to hip-hop nowadays, you know, is that in many ways it's sold out, right? And it's been happening for years. It's nothing new. Like I said, I grew up listening to hip-hop. In fact, the first song I heard, I believe it was 1977, 78, was Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight. And I'll never forget that, and it's like, boom, hooked. But nowadays, that real hip-hop, that pure essence of real hip-hop has been in many ways sold out and replaced by garbage. And again, I'm not putting these 2 artists down at all. But I'm talking in general. What's happened is with social media now, with the convenience and the availability of social media and sites like Snapchat, which I'll get to in a moment. Something else that's disgusting about that, I'll get to in a minute. But basically, hip-hop has become watered down, just soft. You know what I mean? And all these little internet beefs have sparked up with rappers like 6ix9ine and, you know, some of the West Coast rappers that he got into it with, like The Game, and silly, just absolute silly by young men. Most of them are men, the one that I'm talking about. There are female rappers, but the beef lately between 6ix9ine, The Game, other West Coast rappers, you know, Trippie Redd, it's disgusting. And these young men obviously, you know, don't realize the seriousness of these internet beefs. Now, we don't know yet if any of these were connected to any of the beefs, any of these senseless murders. But it's just sad. And it's sad to see a music, a genre that I love and I grew up on, right? I also grew up listening to rock. But my main music growing up is hip-hop. When I had a TV show, Keep It on the Real, which a lot of you day ones that's been riding with me since the 90s remember, I interviewed rappers, groups such as the first group to ever win a Grammy, Naughty by Nature, Tretch, KG, Vinny. I've interviewed Method Man. Again, real hip-hop, pioneers, legends. And to see that art form that I love so much and that spoke to me as a youth and even as a young adult, and some of the songs, KRS-One, Sound of the Police, you know, these still speak to me today. Real hip-hop. Rakim, like I said, one of the best. One of my all-time favorite rappers. A true artist. To see it replaced with the bullshit nowadays and the little beefs, especially after we lost, and I'm talking we, my generation, right? And some of you remember, that are old enough to remember. Two greats like Tupac and Biggie in the 90s, right? Late 90s. Mid to late 90s. So it's really, really, really just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Now, I want to hit on something. I mentioned Snapchat earlier. Another thing that is disgusting, and I'll talk about more in another video I'll make soon, is the fact that as a society, we have sunk to a disgustingly low level. When XXXTentacion was gunned down yesterday as he sat driving behind the wheel of his BMW i8 sedan coupe, right? And you can see the video for yourself. I'm not going to post the video. It's disgusting, but the videos are out there. I'm sure most of you have seen them already. When he sat behind that wheel, slumped over the wheel, comatose, after having been shot, and according to police, robbed. A crowd gathered around him with their fucking cell phones out, recording this young man. Not one fucking person in that crowd tried to render any sort of first aid to this young man. But yet they took the time to record and even type in X and upload the video to Snapchat. Absolutely disgusting. As someone who has advocated and advocates every day for the First Amendment protected right to record, it is disgusting. Just because you can record doesn't mean you have to record. Especially at a moment like that. It is disgusting that people would crowd around this young man and record him instead of rendering any sort of help, any sort of first aid. Absolutely fucking disgusting. Peace.